Welcome, my peace, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. It's Mary Jane, and we're going to talk about Winnie Mandela. So basically, she passed away today. God bless her, rest her soul. May all the trials and tribulation, may all the tortures and all the things that she endured, the torturous, and how she watched people be assassinated. May all that stay here on earth, and why she rests in power, she rests in peace, because she did a lot. She married Nelson Mandela. She was a freedom fighter. She got her social work degree at a time when you couldn't go to school, when women couldn't go to school and things like that. She made sure that she stood up and she fought for the people. She fought for her community. She fought for her country, and she stood up and she wasn't afraid. She wasn't scared. She wasn't worried about them putting Trump charges on her. And they did. They put Trump charges on her. They locked her up. They imprisoned her. They tortured her. They did everything that they wanted to do to her, but she didn't give up and she didn't stop fighting. And the people in her country did not stop supporting her. She's actually she was a living legend, and she's a legend now because this is a woman that stood up. She stood up against the African anti-apartheid activities and political. She held several government positions, including a deputy minister of art, culture, science, and technology, a member of the African National Congress, the ANC, a party. She served on the ANC National Executive Committee and headed its Women League. Basically, she did everything. She fought. She had two children. She raised them. She fought for freedom of her people. She fought for her country not to be colonized. She fought for these people not to come over there and take her country and enslave their people. She fought like she didn't talk a game. She didn't play no game. She had people support her, and she led them to freedom. It's still today. They still got the apartheid going on over there, which is just, it's sad. But you know what? She fought, and she didn't give up, and she never gave up, and she stood by Nelson Mandela's side once he got out. She remarried, but she was a political prisoner. When Mrs. Mandela, Winnie Mandela, was regularly detained by the National Party government. She was tortured, subject to house arrest, kept under surveillance, held in solitary confinement for over a year, and even banished to a remote town. She emerged as a leader, opponent of the apartheid during the later years of her husband's imprisonment in August 1963, February 1994. Many of those years she was exiled to a country of Banford in the Orange Free State and confined to the areas except for when she was allowed to visit her husband in prison. And in the beginning, in 1969, she spent 18 months in solitary confinement. So this woman spent 18 months in solitary confinement because she was not going to bow down to the masses. She was not going to let the apartheid come in and take over. And I'm just like, damn. I just hope she got the accolades that she needed to get while she was here on earth. And she actually, born other leaders, born other people that was inspired by what she did, because she was fighting for South Africa. Because basically the apartheid was a system of institution of racial segregation and discrimination that exiled and existed in South Africa between 1948 and 1994. The system was based on white supremacy and the repression of black majorities, African colors, and Asians, South Africans, for the benefit of the political and economically dominant Africans and other whites. Despite the end of its official legislation and in 1991, the apartheid law remained in effect, and black South Africans still have no representation in government. Furthermore, the economic legacy and generational effects of the apartheid continues to this day, which is sad, which is just really disappointing. But you know what? She fought, and she stood up. And she fought, and she stood up. She was a political prisoner. She was arrested. She went to jail. Her kids suffered. She suffered. She was accused of all types of crimes that were not true, locked up in jail, locked up in prison, and tortured. But this woman kept fighting, and she lived to be 81 years old. And too bad all her dreams didn't come true, where she can free South Africa and she can free her country and she can free the people from being enslaved and being colonized, which is just sad. You know, she died April 2nd, 2018 at the age of 81. Wow. I just say rest in power, Whitney Mandela. Rest in power. It's just like, it's hard to even talk about it because you see what she went through and what she tried to do. And, you know, some people in her camp, you know, turned against her, made false lies, made false statements, but they were probably tortured and forced to do that as well. And, you know, it's just sad when people don't live to see their dreams, especially when they go to all types of trials and tribulation and tortured and being in prison and being exiled. And what she did, you know, she fought for a lot of people, but, you know, a dream still didn't come true. But a lot of it did come true because she fought for kids to learn English and their native language in school. She fought for that as well. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love.